Um, all right, so today's main event, man, we're talking about the cost of neglecting your body, your health after 30. Um, which is a very common thing. A very common thing you see amongst a lot of 30-year-olds plus, 40-year-olds plus. Um, just understand you guys that after a certain age, it doesn't have to be 30, it doesn't have to be 40, but after a certain age, um the consequences of everything that you did not do while you were younger is going to show up. It's just inevitable. It's going to show up. Um they're no longer going to be invisible, and they're only going to compound. They're only going to get worse. So, if you don't take control now at this very moment, your body will take control of it for you. And that's just the honest truth. Your body will take control of you. And you see it so many times. How many times do you see guys that are older and they still think they can move? Oh, I'll still beat you guys in one on one. I'll still play you one on one and win. I'll still bust your ass in the court. I'm still faster than you. No, you're not. You ain't ran since 1937. You ain't ran since Lincoln freed the slaves. How can you beat me in a race? How can you play me in basketball? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you get older, a lot of guys be delusional, man. A lot of guys still have the a certain archetype of themselves in their heads, and they can't let it go. And you see it so many times with old heads. Still think they got it. Still think they can compete. Man, sit your old ass down. You can't do any of that because you ain't even worked on any of that in years. If you were still in good shape, hey, maybe. Who knows? Still probably won't win, but hey, you might have a chance. But don't tell me you still got it and you ain't ran a mile since high school. And that was 40 years ago. Insane. Insane. And y'all keep thinking y'all getting away with it because nothing's happened. Keep skipping workouts. Keep eating like trash. Keep getting poor quality sleep. Keep doing that. And God rest our soul, but you guys might end up like Miss Keita in this situation. Dying young. She was probably in her 40s. You know, we always ignore symptoms until we can't anymore. And what's funny is the symptoms, they come in little spurts. It might be an ache here, a nick there, but we just keep going. We ignore it. We act like it's not there until one day, boom, something snaps. Boom, we land differently and we can't get back up. This is a great example of this. We got two examples here of the rapper Genuine. You guys might know him. He was a famous not rapper, singer, excuse me. A famous singer in the early 2000s. Um he had plenty of hits. He's actually one of my favorite singers. Genuine, the guy that sings "My Pony, My Saddle," all that stuff. But he is 54 years old, and let's just take a look at what he did at one of his concerts as of recently. Let's check this out. Let's do that again. Still singing. Yep. you guys realize that, hey, I know he's 54 years old, man, but if Genuine was in, you can tell he probably don't work out like that for real. But hey, man, you're getting old. You can't do what you did before, and that's kind of dangerous. Even at that age, even if you are in shape, you shouldn't be jumping off of high, you know, elevated places like that. Even if you are in shape and older, it's just dangerous. But yeah, man. I mean, he still thinks he can be doing. It's not 2001 no more, bruh. It's not. Like you can't get away with jumping off of jumping off a stage, jumping off of speakers. You're 54 years old, bro. Like your body, your joints ain't the same how they used to. So you can't get away with everything that you did back in 2002 when you were younger, you know? And this is a lot of guys, they think they can still compete, man. And this is a prime example. Here's another example of a guy, another older individual who still thinks he got it, right? Let's check this out. Oh, man. Let me refresh that. Hold on. Oh,
man, set your ass down.
But okay, yep. Me at 47 trying to show my daughter how to run the 100-meter sprint. He probably ain't ran the sprint since MLK had the I Had a Dream march or speech. It's been that long. But again, 47 years old, probably hasn't ran in God knows how long, still thinks he can compete. You guys got to get that archetype of that person that you were out of your head, man, especially if you guys haven't been keeping up with yourselves and taking care of yourselves. These things can be super dangerous. Genuine probably rolled his ankle in that video. This man here probably tore his ACL, So, but hey, man, the signs were there. The signs were right there. You didn't put the work in all these years, and now you're trying to get back in the field. This is what happens. So right now, what we're going to talk about is what happens when you stop caring for yourself after 30, right? So obviously, we see a decline in our physical health. Testosterone, when you hit age 30 as a man, your testosterone drops 1 to 2% per year, so that is a fact. We do experience muscle loss, and that accelerates. So that is called sarcopenia. So as we get older and we stop being active, we tend to lose muscle every year. The more we are inactive, the more muscle we lose. It's a very simple concept. Belly fat arises, and that's because of prolactin, which is a female hormone that we get when we stop being active, when we stop having that male drive, right? And that usually happens when our testosterone drops, is that we develop estrogen hormones in our body, which is a response to your testosterone dropping. Your testosterone drops, usually gets replaced with estrogen. So in order to not have your testosterone drop significantly, guess what, you guys? You got to keep working out. You got to keep lifting weights. You have to keep eating correctly and making sure you're maximizing your muscle mass. Other things that happens is your energy is going to take a hit. Your sleep is gonna take a hit, and you're gonna be slow to recover. So, these are all things that are gonna play a role in you maintaining your health. If you don't have any of these things, right, especially when it comes to your energy, your sleep, and your recovery time, and you're on a plan, you're gonna fall off that plan. That plan is gonna be done in about 2 weeks. Those are the 3 components that you need to be successful in any workout program or regimen. You need sleep, you need recovery time, and you need your energy. If you don't have any of those three, you're cooked. I'll put it simple just like that. You're cooked if you don't have any of those three. So that's just the physical. The mental side, you got brain fog, you can't remember shit, you know, you start to take long to think about things that happen, low motivation, you know, you don't feel like getting out there and exercising, right? It's a mental game. Uh you start to feel bad about yourself for being inconsistent because you're not doing any of these things. Low sex drive, short temper, and then the biggest thing is feeling old when you're not old. A lot of you guys feel old when you get to a certain age, and that's not because of age, it's because of your lifestyle. You only feel old when you're not doing shit. If you're just sitting around getting fat, not exercising, not putting in no work, yes, you're going to feel old because that's your body's response to you being fucking lazy. Look at anybody right now. A lot of you guys know people that are in shape right now at in their 40s, 50s, 60s. You can't tell them they old. You just can't. Yeah, they might be 45. Yeah, they might be 55, but they're in great shape. They don't feel old, especially if they got money. You can't tell them they feel old. They be like, man, I feel as great as I did when I was 20. I feel amazing. Yeah, they might look a little older on the outside, but inside, I guarantee you they feel way better than someone that's not doing what they're doing. They feel way better than someone that's just sitting around all day, scratching their balls and watching Cartoon Network. They feel way better than that person. That I can guarantee. So, yes, a lot of you guys just say, man, I'm old. I feel old. Well, you're doing old people shit. Old people sit around and not do shit. That's being old. At 35, you should not be feeling old. At 40, you should not be feeling old. At 30, you should not be feeling old. Yes, you might if you guys are playing basketball, yes, you might not be able to get off the ball as quick as you did when you were 20. You may not be able to blow by anybody like you did when you were younger. Yeah, in that case, yeah, you're getting older, but that doesn't make you old. You're just older. You can't do the same things. You can't run as fast anymore, but you're not old, right? You're not old. So it's the mental things that break us down. It's you telling yourself these things. It's training you to be inconsistent. It's training you to just give up. It's training you to feel old. That's why I tell you guys, man, stop calling yourself old. You're not old. You're just inconsistent. That's all it boils down to. So half of this game of getting back in shape is just a mental game. Once you get the mental game right, everything falls back in line. But you can't get to step A or step B without accomplishing step A. You have to accomplish step A first. You have to get your mental right. So, but and the consequences that you'll eventually pay for down the line is, hey man, lifelong medication. Get used to your blood pressure being high. Get used to high cholesterol. Get used to you being insulin resistant, right? So yeah, get ready for um a life of medication. Get ready for a life of medication because that's what's waiting for you if you don't take care of these things now. Another thing is you're going to be visiting the doctor a lot more. Who wants to do that? I hate hospitals. I hate everything about hospitals. I hate the way they smell. I hate the way they look. I don't want to be around the people in there. They look miserable. It's just a not. The hospital is just not a good place to be. It's very miserable, and I know you guys understand what I'm talking about. You know, um, other things can be weight gain normalized as dad life. People around you are gonna just start telling you, "Oh man, it's just part of life. It's just part of you getting older. Oh, you're a dad now. Don't worry about it." Nah, man. Just because you're a dad doesn't mean you lose your standards. That is the craziest thing ever. And I wish we would just get rid of this dad bod normalization. It's insane to me how we can normalize someone being unhealthy, someone losing their standards. So another thing is your wife, girlfriend might lose attraction to you. Hey, you might have met her when you were at 15% body fat. Now you're at 30% body fat. Let's just say she didn't gain that much weight over time. She liked the old version of you. Now she has to look at this fat sweat hog every night of a boyfriend. Hey man, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but over time, the risk of her losing attraction is high. I'll say that. And be prepared for anything else to happen after that. That shit is real, man. Why do you think that guy put in that prenuptial agreement of the fat clause in the prenup? That's for a reason. That's for a reason. Nobody wants to turn around and look at somebody, this big ass beast laying next to me every day, especially if you're someone that's in shape. God damn, I gotta hit this again. No, we're not dealing with that, man. No, we ain't dealing with that. So yeah, man, just understand that that's a possibility. Your girlfriend, your wife, she may lose attraction to you. So, and the last one, and I know a lot of you guys gonna say, "Oh well, if she loses attraction to me, she ain't the one." All right, well, I guess she ain't the one then. And the last one, less opportunity. You guys, people trust men that are in shape. They're gonna trust men that are in shape as opposed to men that are not in shape. They're gonna treat men that are in shape differently than men that are not in shape. I'm not saying they're gonna treat them better. Sometimes that is the case, but they're gonna treat them differently. And sometimes that differently is better. It is what it is. Right? Because you being in shape, it screams leadership, it screams discipline, it screams trust, it screams, everything that someone may look for when trying to make a relationship or do business or put you in an opportunity or a certain position. This shit is important, man. A lot of times people don't trust fat people. It is what it is. I'm not saying that's all the time, but most of the time, people are not going to trust fat people. They're just not going to trust them. They're going to look at fat people as sloppy, lazy, undisciplined. And I'm not saying this is always true because I do know successful fat people, but when we're just looking at it from just a pragmatic, from an overview, right? In general, most people are not going to trust fat people for those reasons. Tell me I'm lying. It just is what it is, man. I don't make the rules, you know? So these are what you have to expect, man, when you don't take care of yourself as you get older. We have to make sure we maintain. I think the last one was way more important because as you get older, that's when opportunities start to open up for you. And you have to always be ready. And part of being ready is being in shape. Solely because of what that can command. But if you're not in shape, you ain't ready. And you may lose an opportunity that could have changed your life. but you would never know. So, you know, I'm not saying after 30 you have to train for vanity. You have to train so your girl don't leave you. I'm not saying all that, man. I'm saying that you need to train. You need to be training for advantage. I always talk about leverage. You always want to be in the leverage position. That is the best position to be in. So we're training to have advantage in life, in relationships, in business. In general, having leverage is the best position to be. So